Right, this is lesson 3.5, and students will find quotients of problems, which means we'll divide, involving multi-digit divisors. So we're going to use some big numbers with long division. Open your books to page 215 if you're not already there. Get your pencil ready and follow along. All right, I'm on page 215, just thinking about our vocabulary, making sure that when I'm using good math vocabulary, you know what I'm talking about. Here we have an example. 240 divided by 80, and the answer is 3. What I would like you to do is to label the different parts. In a division problem, the first number, the number that goes inside of the division symbol, is called the dividend. Go ahead and label that in your book. And you take the dividend and you divide it by the divisor. That's the second number in a division problem, and it goes outside of the division symbol. And then the answer that you get is called the quotient. Make sure you label that in your math book. And I'm going to try to use those words. Dividend, divide by divisor, equals quotient. Turn your books to page 216, and we're just going to do lots of practice with this. Long division is something that students often struggle with, and I know you've learned more than one way to do that division in elementary school. We're going to use a traditional division algorithm, and it might look a little bit different than partial quotients or something else that you've used, but there are 4 steps that you repeat over and over again. First, you divide part of the problem. Then you multiply, subtract, bring down. Maybe you've heard that before. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. And then you repeat. On my Moodle page, there's a link to a Mr. Dewey long division problem or long division music video if you would like to watch that. But we're going to do quite a few of these together. And hopefully it's not totally new for all of you and you're somewhat with it. Page 261, we have a few examples. We're going to use this traditional algorithm, divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. The first step to doing this is to rewrite the problem so that we take the dividend, 351, divide by the divisor, 9. To get our quotient, our first step is to divide. So I got to look to see how many times, my goal is to find out how many times does 9 go into 351. We could estimate that, first of all, and say, well, let's say it was 360. 360 divided by 9, well, 36 divided by 9 is 4, so 360, it's going to be about 40. That's a good estimate for us to go through. But as I go through the division algorithm, I check to see, can I put 9 into 3? And the answer is no. 3 is not big enough. I can't do 3 divided by 9. So then I look at 2 digits, the 3 and the 5. 35. Does 9 go into 35? Yes, it does. 9 goes into 35 3 times. 3 times 9 is 27. So I'm going to multiply. 3 times 9 is 27. Then I'm going to subtract. I've got to do some regrouping here. And now I have 8. But I'm not finished with my problem. I have to bring this 1 down. That's the last step to bring down. Now I start all over again. Do 81 divide by 9 is 9. 9 times 9 multiply is 81. Subtract. And there's nothing left to bring down. So my answer, my quotient, is 39. And I can check to see, is that close to my estimate at the beginning, 40? It's really close. So then I know I'm on the right track. If this is new to you, you're going to want to definitely work through a bunch of these together with me. There's another second example on page 216 that the textbook worked out for you. You certainly should take the time and look through that example, but I think it'd be more useful for us to do some more together. So pick up your pencil and we're going to do letter A from the Got It's on the bottom page 216 together. The first step is to rewrite the problem so that we put the dividend, 768, inside, the first number goes inside the division symbol, and we're going to put the divisor, 8, on the outside. Now I have to go through those steps. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. So first I'm going to check to see, does 8 fit into 7? No. So now I move to 2 digits. Does 8 fit in to 76? And the answer is yes. 8 fits into 76 9 times. 9, now I'm going to multiply. 9 times 8 is 72. Subtract, 6 minus 2 is 4. Bring down the 8. Now I start all over again. Divide, does 8 go into 48? I'm going to do 8 fits into 48. That goes in 6 times. Multiply, 6 times 8 is 48. Subtract, I get 0. There's nothing left to bring down my quotient. My answer is 96. I want you to do the same thing with letter B. Pause the video, work it out, try to work it out yourself, and then restart it and check to see that you were on track. First thing I did was I rewrote it so it was a little bit bigger and I had more space, but I'm going to go through my steps. Divide, 16 goes into 31 only one time. Subtract, I get 15. Bring down the 8. 16 goes into 158. Oof, sometimes these are pretty tough. 16 times 10 would be 160, so I know it's close. I'm going to do 9. 9 times 16 is 144. Subtract, 8 minus 4 is 4. I get 14. I have nothing left to bring down. At this point, we're not working with any decimals. It's all whole numbers. So I'm going to write this as a problem with a remainder. 19, remainder 14. Moving on to page 217, we're doing the exact same things. It says divide 4-digit dividends. We're just using some bigger numbers here. We have a 3-digit dividend and a 4-digit dividend, or a 5-digit or a 10-digit, however big the numbers are. Follow the same steps. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. All right, first example on page 217. First I'm just going to do some estimating and see if I take these really big numbers. Let's change 6493 into 6,400. If I were to divide that by 80, I would get 80 as an answer. So that's kind of my ballpark to get me started. But I need to rewrite the problem, and then I put the dividend, 6,493, inside the division symbol, and the divisor, 75, on the outside. And I start going through my steps, and first step is to divide. So let's see, 75 does not go into 6, doesn't go into 64, it goes into 649. Now you have to do a lot of guess and check when you do long division, and do a lot of estimating in your head. I know that it's less than 10, but it's a pretty big number. 75, I'm going to guess, if I did 75 times 9, let's see what that gives me. 7 times 9 is 63 plus 675. That's too big, not 9. It must be 8. 75 times 8, 56 plus 4 more. 75 times 8 would be 600, so that's right. 8. I divided 8. Multiply. 8 times 75 is 600. Subtract. 49. Bring down. I have 3. Now I have to do it all over again and say, let's see, how many times does 75 go into 493? So I got to do some more guess and check here again. If 8 made it to 600, I'm looking at what I've already done. 8 75s was 600. If I subtracted 75 from that, it'd be 525. I'm going to go with a 6. And do 75 times 6. 37. 6 times 7 is 42, 43, 44, 45, 450. That's pretty close here, so we put a 6 here. I divided to get 6. Now I multiply. 6 times 75 is 450. subtract, I get 43. There's nothing left to bring down, so remember at this point we said we can use remainders. Remainder 43. 86, remainder 43. We're going to skip example number 4 for now. You could look at that one, but let's do some of these got it's. We'll do letter C together at the bottom of page 217. Definitely probably going to need to work in that green work zone on the right hand side of your textbook. Let's do letter C together. I'm going to rewrite it so that there's a little more space for me and my pen to do the writing here. So I take the dividend, 4,321, goes inside the division symbol, 56, the divisor on the outside. Now we go through all the steps. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. So I check 56. Does it go into 4? No. 43? No. So we have to look at 432. We got to estimate. We have to do a lot of guess and check with this long division. So I'm going to start by saying, since 56 times 10 would be 560, I'm going to start by guessing 6. I'm going to do 56 times 6. Lots of scratch paper work here. 36. 6 times 5 is 30 plus 3. 300. Oh, that's way too small. Let's try 56 times 8. 8 times 7 is 56. 8 times 5 is 40. 456. That one's too big, so it must be 7. 56 times 7. 6 times 7 is 42. 7 times 5 is 35, 392. That's what I need. So 432 divided by 56 is 7. Multiply 7 times 56 is 392. Subtract. I get 40. Bring down. So now my new dividend is 401. 56 goes into 401. I already did all the scratch paper work over here. I can look at these ones I already did and know that 401, I must use this one, 7. 7 is the most number of times. So I'm going to do 401 divided by 56 is 7. Multiply 7 times 56 is 392. Subtract. I get 9. There's nothing left to bring down, so that's my remainder, 9. 77, remainder 9. Go ahead and you work through. Take some time. It will take time. Use the work zone on the side of your book and work through letters D and E. Pause the video. Work through those problems. Lots of places to make mistakes. You just have to be really careful. Then restart the video and check to see whether or not you were on the right track. Alright, for letter D, you should have gotten 93, remainder 2. And for letter E, each student would receive 3 tickets. One more example for us. This has a 5-digit dividend and a 2-digit divisor, but we're just going to still do the same thing. Hang with me and do one more example with me. We're going to start by rewriting the problem where we take the dividend, 54,912, and put it inside the division symbol. The divisor, 44, goes on the outside of the division symbol. Then we go through those steps. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. So 44 goes into 50, does not go into 5, but it does go into 54 just one time. Multiply, 1 times 44. Subtract, I get 10. So I'm going to bring down the 9. Now I'm going to start over. 109 divided by 44. 44 will go into 109 2 times. 2 times 44 is 88. Subtract, bring down that 1. 44 goes into 211. I'm going to guess 4 times. 4 times 44 is 176. Subtract. I get 35. Bring down the last one. I'm running out of room on my slide. A 2, 4 goes into 352. 352 divide by 4. I know that if 44 times 4 was 176, I'm probably going to be able to do twice that much. I'm going to check an 8. 8 times 4 is 32, 32, 33, 352 exactly. Perfect. They made it work out nice and neat. So 8 times 44, 352. I subtract. I get 0. I'm finished. 1,248. This is going to take a lot of practice. If you need extra help with this, there are lots of resources for you. Watch Mr. Dewey on YouTube. Rewatch this video. Check out the tutor videos that come with the ebook. Don't be afraid to ask questions. This is just really going to take a lot of practice. For those of you that this is new to do long division this way, let me know if I can help. Good luck.